I used to procrastinate, and sometimes this is completely normal. But what I didn't know is that there is a right and there is a wrong way to do this. One way reinforced my procrastination habit, whereas the other way weakened it. When you inevitably procrastinate, you need to do it the right way to avoid falling in ruts and wasting days of your life. Let me show you how I and the people I coach procrastinate to make us actually more productive in the long term. See, I used to push myself as much as possible. Basically, I would tell myself, okay, I'm gonna do as much work today as possible. And I used to have these periods where maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days, I would actually put in the work. I would actually do what I needed to do. But then after a little while, I would just fall off. After the motivation is gone, after I don't wanna do it anymore, I end up falling in ruts. I end up doing bad habits and just basically wasting days of my life. And this was a recurring cycle that I kept just falling into, a few days of work and then full on procrastination. And I would feel ashamed of myself. I would feel guilty, As soon as I started making some progress with my work, as soon as I got some momentum in this life, I collapsed it. I knew I was doing something good, and that was, supposed to be giving me the motivation. I was kind of motivated. I wanted to do the work, but at the same time, I just collapsed with my habit. I wasn't able to just do my work and actually stay consistent with my work. This made me essentially hate myself, feel ashamed of myself, feel so guilty that even though I didn't want to waste all this time, I was doing it, and I was failing my dreams, I was failing my ambitions. In one of my ruts, I essentially sat down. I was pissed off that I had done it again. So I started thinking of a solution, and I really journaled, and I was thinking, what can I do to stop procrastinating, stop doing this? So I told myself, you know what if I allow procrastination? What if I allow procrastination, but I don't do the bad habits? So nothing is expected of me in terms of work, in terms of production. The only thing that's expected of me is to stop the embarrassing bad habits that I did, which is social media, video games, pornography, eating junk food sometimes. So just stop the bad habits, even if you can't do your work. So I knew I was doomed to procrastinate. I knew I was gonna do it, but just don't do the bad habits. Just don't go through that again. So that was the sort of moment I had of the solution that I was supposed to be doing. And so I started doing this. I started telling myself that I can put in or not put in work, but whatever I do, I'm not gonna do the bad habits. And I did this for a few days. And, I looked at my work, it wasn't much. I hadn't done much, but I also hadn't done any bad habits. And after a few days, this weird thing started happening. I started not wanting to procrastinate as much. The work did not feel as much as a chore. It didn't feel so bad to do it, you know what I mean? It didn't feel so negative to do the work. I stopped wanting to do the bad habits as well. So I stopped wanting to procrastinate as much. And as it turns out, the habits, the dopamine habits that I was doing, like social media, video games, things like that, they made it more likely for me to procrastinate. So even though I was sometimes resting or I was just procrastinating, those habits made my procrastination the next time the worse. So you would think that you're just wasting time and that's the only bad thing about it, but that's not the only bad thing about it. The bad thing about the bad habits is that they make it more likely to procrastinate the next time you have to do the work, because it's this reinforcing cycle of you run from the work and you give yourself dopamine that rewards you. This reward is feedback for your brain. Now your brain wants to procrastinate each time you try to do the work. It becomes like this association in your head. You have to do work, but what about scrolling? You have to do work, but what about playing video games? It becomes this reinforcing cycle that you cannot escape. But because I had stopped all the bad habits, because I had chosen, no matter how much work I do, I'm not gonna do bad habits. So I can procrastinate, but just not by doing bad habits. And I'm gonna procrastinate by reading books or walking around, but socializing with family, but not doing the bad habits. And doing that essentially really helped me solve my procrastination, because now I stopped reinforcing this procrastination day to day. So here is the advice I'm gonna give you. And I'm gonna explain this to you very briefly, very simple. Yesterday, I was cooking some food, and my dog, female little dog, comes in the kitchen and is like begging me, please give me some food. And you know what? I can't resist my dog. So I grab a little carrot and I give it to the dog. And the dog is happy, eating the carrot, very happy. But then the dog, as dogs do, starts begging again. Please give me some more food. Okay, fine, I can't resist my dog. So I'm gonna give it some chicken. I grab a little bit of a chicken breast and I give it the chicken. And it's even more happier than before. And then the dog, as dogs do, starts begging me again. It never gets fed, this thing. Please give me more. And I can't resist it once again. So I get a little carrot once again and I give it to the dog. But this time, what are you doing? The dog is not eating the carrot. It's not eating it. So the carrot lays on the ground. The dog is just not interested in the carrot. You know what happened there? I gave the dog some chicken. And dogs really prefer chicken to carrots. So of course, when I gave carrot to the dog after the chicken, it's not gonna eat it. The comparison is chicken is here, carrot is here, so why would it eat the carrot? Well, this is what you're doing to yourself. You're surrounded by chickens, or the equivalent for that for a human would be cookies. You're surrounded by cookies. You have scrolling, video games, porn, all these habits that are much better, much easier, give you much more dopamine to do than actual work, than working out and reading, all these good habits. So of course, when you're surrounded by cookies, you're not gonna take the carrots, you're not gonna take what gives you less dopamine, and that's what your brain is doing. There is something as a comparison bias. So what you need to do is you need to remove the dopamine habits if you want to be consistent. You need to not give yourself the option. My dog would have kept infinitely eating the carrots if I hadn't given it any other option. But because I gave it the option of the chicken, now it doesn't want the carrots. So you're the dog, remove all the chicken, only eat carrots, only eat your vegetables. And that's much better for you. Imagine you're walking through a rainforest and you have these thick trees and this jungle that you have a machete and now you have to cut through the leaves and cut through the jungle, and it's very difficult. And you get tired and you get progressively tired, and then what? The predator comes from the forest and takes your ass, and that's it, it's over. You have procrastinated, the predator has come. And I sit on the side of the road looking at you with this contempting look. Oh, what a dumbass. There is this whole clear path, clear road right here, but he's sitting in the jungle, chopping through the forest with the predator stalking his ass. Why would you do that? Well, this is what you're doing right now. Your whole room, you have your PS5, you have 50 distracting apps on your phone, 50 on your computer, all of the sites that distract you on your internet browser are easily accessible in 5 seconds. You have notifications on. You have junk food in your fridge, you have your sofa, which you can lay on, or your bed, which you always procrastinate on. So everything that makes you procrastinate, all the chicken, all the cookies, they're all accessible easily in your environment. And of course, what's gonna happen? You're gonna procrastinate because you have to constantly chop through the jungle. There's all these obstacles, all your friends that distract you, all the phone, there's all these obstacles on the way. Whereas I don't have any of this. Nobody distracts me. My phone notifications are blocked. I have deleted all the apps that distract me. I've blocked all the sites. I don't have a PS5. I don't have a gaming computer. I don't have anything to distract me. The only thing I have is the work. That's the only thing I can do. And because that's the only thing I can do, that's my carrot. I'm gonna eat the carrot. That's the only option I have. So here is the thing. Clean your environment to not make you procrastinate. That's the best advice I can give you, because you need to stop getting triggered each time you see your PS5 or you see your gaming laptop or you see your bed or your sofa, or somebody calls you to go out and party and the social media notifications pop up. That's a trigger in your brain. Each trigger is like a bush or something in your path that is an obstacle you have to remove. If there is overwhelming amounts of obstacles, you eventually get tired and the predator takes you. So if you want to stop procrastinating, remove the triggers from your environment, only have carrots, only have the work in front of you, stop doing the bad habits, and you're gonna stop procrastinating. Now, if you need to overcome procrastination, join the community that you see right now on the screen. I also offer completely free coaching inside the community, in which I basically help people to stop procrastination like trickles. And pretty much everybody gets results. I've never had somebody who hasn't joined the call and has gotten some type of result. So the worst case scenario that can happen by joining the free coaching is you improve. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is that you solve your procrastination forever. So click on the link right now and join. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you. Yes.